Welcome back to our channel, The Historical Records. Today, we have a truly captivating topic to explore: the heroic journey of Joan of Arc. The story of Joan of Arc takes us back to the tumultuous 15th century, a time when the Kingdom of France was embroiled in a bitter and seemingly endless conflict known as the 100 Years' War. The war, which raged on and off for over a century, had plunged France into a state of chaos and despair. The English had seized control of large portions of French territory, leaving the once mighty kingdom fractured and weakened. Amidst this backdrop of strife and turmoil, a young French peasant girl named Joan of Arc emerged as a beacon of hope. Joan was born in Domremy, a small village in northeastern France, in 1412. She was an ordinary girl in many respects, but from an early age, she claimed to have extraordinary visions and a divine calling. These visions led her to believe that she was chosen by God to save France from its English oppressors. Joan was an exceptionally devout and determined young woman. Her unwavering faith in her divine mission, as well as her charismatic personality, inspired those around her. She believed that she was destined to drive the English out of France and restore the French crown to its rightful heir, Charles VII. The 100 Years' War was a brutal and protracted conflict characterized by numerous battles, sieges, and shifting allegiances. It was a war of attrition that had drained the resources and spirits of both the French and English. The English had even managed to capture the French crown, with Henry V declared as the King of France in 1420. This added to the humiliation and despair of the French people. As the war dragged on, Joan's divine visions and her unwavering determination to save her homeland became a symbol of hope for the beleaguered French nation. Little did anyone know that this young peasant girl would go on to lead armies, inspire her countrymen, and play a pivotal role in one of the most remarkable chapters of French history. Joan of Arc's extraordinary journey, marked by her unwavering faith and heroic deeds, would become an enduring legend in the annals of history. This is the story of how a young peasant girl would rise to become the Maid of Orleans, a national heroine, and a symbol of courage and resilience during one of France's darkest hours. Joan of Arc's journey begins in the peaceful village of Domremy, nestled in the northeastern region of France. She was born into a simple peasant family in 1412, during a time when the 100 Years' War had cast a long shadow over the land. Her parents, Jacques d'Arc and Isabelle Romy, were hard-working farmers who struggled to make ends meet. Joan grew up in a humble, rural environment, helping with chores and tending to the family's livestock. Despite her modest upbringing, Joan was known for her piety and strong sense of faith from a very young age. She attended the local church and immersed herself in religious devotion, often attending Mass and seeking solace in prayer. Joan's life took a remarkable turn in her early adolescence. Around the age of 13, she began experiencing divine visions and hearing voices that she believed were sent by God. These otherworldly experiences were a source of both solace and confusion for the young girl. The voices identified themselves as those of Saint Michael, Saint Catherine, and Saint Margaret, three revered saints in the Catholic faith. These celestial beings spoke to Joan, guiding her and imparting a sacred mission. They instructed her to aid the Dauphin, Charles VII, the rightful heir to the French throne, and help him claim his crown. The voices assured her that she was chosen by God to lead the French forces to victory over the English, a mission that would save her beloved France from the ravages of war. Joan's visions and the clarity with which she received her divine messages left her with an unshakable conviction that she was indeed on a holy mission. She believed that her actions were divinely ordained, and she was determined to follow this calling, regardless of the personal risks it entailed. The mission revealed to Joan was clear: she was to save France from the English occupation and restore Charles VII to the throne. At the time, Charles VII was languishing, his authority contested and his legitimacy challenged. The English, under Henry VI, controlled significant portions of France, including Paris. Joan's divine calling to save France from this dire situation was a source of both inspiration and skepticism. Some doubted her visions and mission, but others, including local clergy and nobility, believed in her cause. Joan's unwavering faith and her determination to fulfill her divine mission would lead her to undertake an extraordinary journey that would change the course of history. After embracing her divine mission to save France, Joan set out on an arduous journey to fulfill her calling. In 1429, at the age of 17, she left her village of Domremy and embarked on a pilgrimage to Chinon, where the Dauphin, Charles VII, resided. This journey was fraught with peril, as she had to traverse a war-torn land and navigate treacherous territory controlled by the English and their allies. Joan's arrival at Chinon was met with a mixture of intrigue and skepticism. The Dauphin's court was initially unsure of how to respond to this young peasant girl who claimed to be on a divine mission. However, Joan's confidence, charisma, and the sincerity with which she spoke of her visions began to sway the hearts of those around her. Despite her growing reputation and the support of some in the court, Joan faced significant opposition from those who doubted the authenticity of her divine calling. Many questioned the legitimacy of her claims and the audacity of her mission. Some accused her of being a witch or a fraud, while others believed she was simply a pawn in a political game. However, Joan remained steadfast in the face of skepticism and adversity. She endured questioning, examinations, and even a theological inquisition to prove the veracity of her mission. She consistently upheld the truth of her divine visions and her unwavering commitment to saving France. Despite the doubts and opposition, Joan's influence continued to grow. Her visions and conviction had a profound impact on the Dauphin, Charles VII. Impressed by her sincerity and convinced that she could bring much-needed hope to the French cause, he made a momentous decision. In early 1429, he granted Joan command of a military expedition aimed at lifting the English siege of the city of Orleans. A key strategic location in the ongoing conflict, this decision marked a pivotal moment in Joan's journey. She was given the authority to lead French troops into battle, a task traditionally reserved for experienced military commanders. With her banner displaying the sacred fleur-de-lis, Joan of Arc was about to embark on a mission that would test her mettle and determination. Her determination, faith, and unwavering commitment to her divine mission had won her the opportunity to prove herself on the battlefield and change the course of the 100 Years' War. Once entrusted with command of the French army, Joan of Arc embarked on a series of remarkable military successes. Her most famous achievement was the lifting of the siege of Orleans, a pivotal event in the 100 Years' War. The city had been under English siege for months, and its fall seemed imminent. Joan's leadership and unwavering determination proved decisive. She inspired the French troops with her charisma and her belief in her divine mission. Under her guidance, they launched a series of bold and successful assaults against the English, ultimately breaking the siege and liberating Orleans in May 1429. This stunning victory marked Joan as a military prodigy and symbol of hope for the French. She went on to lead further campaigns, successfully retaking other French territories from the English. Her military prowess and charismatic leadership had a profound impact on the morale of the French forces and ignited a renewed sense of purpose in the ongoing war. One of the primary goals of Joan's divine mission was to see Charles VII crowned as the rightful king of France. With her continued success on the battlefield, she bolstered Charles's position and provided the momentum needed to assert his authority. In July 1429, just a few months after the liberation of Orleans, Joan accompanied Charles VII to Reims, where he was anointed and crowned as King of France in a magnificent ceremony. The coronation was a powerful symbol of the restoration of French sovereignty and the fulfillment of Joan's divine mission. She stood by Charles during the ceremony, holding her banner high, symbolizing the divine mandate that had guided her every action. Once entrusted with command of the French army, Joan of Arc embarked on a series of remarkable military successes. Her most famous achievement was the lifting of the siege of Orleans, a pivotal event in the 100 Years' War. The city had been under English siege for months, and its fall seemed imminent. Joan's leadership and unwavering determination proved decisive. She inspired the French troops with her charisma and her belief in her divine mission. Under her guidance, they launched a series of bold and successful assaults against the English, ultimately breaking the siege and liberating Orleans in May 1429. This stunning victory marked Joan as a military prodigy and symbol of hope for the French. She went on to lead further campaigns, successfully retaking other French territories from the English. Her military prowess and charismatic leadership had a profound impact on the morale of the French forces and ignited a renewed sense of purpose in the ongoing war. One of the primary goals of Joan's divine mission was to see Charles VII crowned as the rightful king of France. With her continued success on the battlefield, she bolstered Charles's position and provided the momentum needed to assert his authority. In July 1429, just a few months after the liberation of Orleans, Joan accompanied Charles VII to Reims, where he was anointed and crowned as King of France in a magnificent ceremony. The coronation was a powerful symbol of the restoration of French sovereignty and the fulfillment of Joan's divine mission. She stood by Charles during the ceremony, holding her banner high, symbolizing the divine mandate that had guided her every action. The trial was deeply contentious, and Joan faced intense scrutiny and questioning from church officials. Some within the church, as well as the English, sought to discredit her and her divine mission. The trial also raised political considerations, as her success had dealt a blow to the English occupation. Despite being subjected to grueling interrogation, Joan demonstrated remarkable resilience and courage. She consistently asserted the truth of her divine visions and maintained her unwavering faith. Her responses during the trial showcased her intelligence, determination, and her deep understanding of her mission's significance, throughout her captivity, trial, and imprisonment. Joan of Arc displayed remarkable steadfastness and resilience. Despite the physical and emotional torment she endured, she never wavered in her conviction or her faith. She remained unwavering in her belief that her mission was divine and that she had acted in accordance with God's will. Even as she faced the threat of execution, Joan's indomitable spirit remained unbroken. Her final moments were a testament to her unyielding faith and strength. On May 30, 1431, she was executed by burning at the stake, but her legacy lived on. Joan's unwavering faith, her extraordinary journey, and her willingness to endure persecution and martyrdom would make her an enduring symbol of courage and resilience. Not only in the history of France but in the annals of human history. Her story would continue to inspire generations to come. In the end, the Church found Joan guilty of heresy, among other charges, and she was sentenced to be burned at the stake in May 1431. This was a dark chapter in Joan's journey, as she was condemned by the very institution she had sought to serve. Throughout her captivity, trial, and imprisonment, Joan of Arc displayed remarkable steadfastness and resilience. Despite the physical and emotional torment she endured, she never wavered in her conviction or her faith. She remained unwavering in her belief that her mission was divine and that she had acted in accordance with God's will. Even as she faced the threat of execution, Joan's indomitable spirit remained unbroken. Her final moments were a testament to her unyielding faith and strength. On May 30, 1431, she was executed by burning at the stake, but her legacy lived on. Joan's unwavering faith, her extraordinary journey, and her willingness to endure persecution and martyrdom would make her an enduring symbol of courage and resilience. Not only in the history of France but in the annals of human history. Her story would continue to inspire generations to come. The dark chapter of Joan of Arc's life reached its tragic climax on May 30, 1431, when she was executed by burning at the stake in the marketplace of Rouen, the city where she had been tried by the Church. The English, who had been her captors, and their Burgundian allies were determined to silence this symbol of French resistance and the divine mission she claimed. In her final moments, Joan faced her gruesome fate with remarkable courage. As the flames consumed her, she reportedly called out to God and the saints whose voices had guided her throughout her mission. Her unwavering faith remained unshaken even in the face of her brutal execution. Joan of Arc's martyrdom sent shockwaves through France and beyond. Her death was seen as a great injustice and a tragedy. She had become a symbol of hope and courage for the French people, and her execution was widely viewed as a betrayal of her divine mission. Her martyrdom further galvanized the French against the English occupation. The memory of Joan and her sacrifice fueled a renewed sense of nationalistic fervor and a determination to continue the fight to free France from foreign control. Her legacy lived on in the hearts of the French, inspiring them to carry on the struggle. Decades after Joan of Arc's execution, there was a reassessment of her trial and condemnation. In 1456, a retrial, known as the Nullification Trial, was held by the Church in an attempt to vindicate her. The retrial aimed to examine the validity of the earlier trial and the charges against her. During this retrial, many of Joan's former accusers were now witnesses in her favor. The Church found that her initial trial had been tainted by political and personal motivations, and they declared her innocent of the charges of heresy. Joan's reputation was restored posthumously, and she was declared a martyr who had been wrongly condemned. In 1920, almost 5 centuries after her death, Joan of Arc was canonized as a saint by the Catholic Church, recognizing her as a symbol of faith and heroism. Her legacy endured, not only as a symbol of hope during the darkest days of the 100 Years' War but as a revered figure in both French and world history. Joan's life, martyrdom, and eventual exoneration remain a powerful and enduring testament to the strength of the human spirit and the enduring power of belief in the face of adversity. Joan of Arc's impact on French history and culture is immeasurable. She is celebrated as a national heroine and an icon of French resistance and determination. Her unwavering faith and remarkable military successes played a significant role in reversing the fortunes of the 100 Years' War, ultimately leading to the expulsion of the English from French territory. Joan's legacy is deeply woven into the fabric of French identity. She remains a symbol of patriotism, resilience, and the enduring spirit of the French people. Her life and martyrdom continue to inspire French citizens, artists, writers, and politicians alike. Joan's memory is invoked in times of national crisis and serves as a reminder of the strength and unity of the French nation. Countless monuments, statues, and historical sites pay tribute to Joan of Arc throughout France. Her story has been immortalized in literature, art, and film, ensuring that her legacy endures for generations to come. In 1920, nearly 500 years after her death, Joan of Arc was officially canonized as a saint by the Catholic Church. This canonization recognized her enduring importance, not only to France but to the world. She became Saint Joan of Arc, a symbol of faith, devotion, and courage. Her canonization was a testament to the recognition of her divine mission and the injustices she had suffered during her lifetime. It was a historic event that affirmed her status as a spiritual figure, and it inspired devotion and pilgrimage to her memory. The story of Joan of Arc imparts valuable lessons to humanity. It demonstrates the power of unwavering faith and the strength of conviction in the face of adversity. Her determination, even in the most dire circumstances, serves as a reminder of the indomitable human spirit. Joan's story teaches us about the importance of resilience and the ability to overcome seemingly insurmountable odds. It also underscores the significance of national identity and the impact of individuals who are willing to sacrifice for a greater cause. Furthermore, Joan of Arc's life challenges preconceived notions about gender and social status. As a young peasant girl, she defied societal expectations and wielded authority on the battlefield. Her story encourages us to challenge stereotypes and embrace the potential for greatness in all individuals, regardless of their background. The heroic journey of Joan of Arc is a story that has captivated hearts and minds for centuries. From her humble beginnings in a small French village to her remarkable rise as the Maid of Orleans, Joan's life was marked by unwavering faith, divine calling, and extraordinary courage. Her story is a testament to the power of the human spirit and the indomitable will of one individual to make a lasting impact on history. Joan of Arc's significance in the history of France and the world cannot be overstated. She emerged as a pivotal figure during one of the most tumultuous periods in French history, the 100 Years' War. Her leadership on the battlefield and her role in the coronation of Charles VII changed the course of the war, leading to the eventual liberation of French territory. Her martyrdom, followed by her posthumous retrial and canonization as a saint, solidified her place in history. Joan became a symbol of hope and resilience, not just for the French but for people worldwide. Her story transcends borders and languages, resonating with anyone who values courage, faith, and determination. Joan of Arc's story continues to inspire generations to this day. Her unwavering faith in the face of adversity, her courage to stand against overwhelming odds, and her determination to fulfill a divine mission offer timeless lessons for humanity. Her life exemplifies the power of believing in oneself and in a higher purpose, even when faced with skepticism and opposition. Joan of Arc's legacy lives on as a beacon of hope and a symbol of human potential. Her story reminds us that, in our own lives, we too can draw strength from our faith and convictions. It encourages us to pursue our dreams, challenge societal norms, and make a positive impact on the world. Joan's journey is a reminder that the impossible can be achieved with unwavering faith, unyielding determination, and an unshakable belief in one's purpose. In the annals of history, Joan of Arc stands as an enduring testament to the extraordinary capacity of the human spirit to overcome adversity, change the course of nations, and inspire generations with her unwavering courage and faith.